Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because what just happened in Washington, D.C., this is not normal politics. It's not routine. This is not business as usual. No, this is a political earthquake. This is a seismic shockwave that just ripped through every Democratic campaign office in America. And it all began with one Supreme Court decision, one ruling that ultimately flipped the entire 2026 battleground map on its head. And tonight, the Democrats are staring at something that they never thought was possible under President Trump. The map is turning red before a single vote has even been cast. The Supreme Court has effectively opened the floodgates for mid-cycle redistricting, giving GOP-led states the green light to redraw their congressional lines immediately. So that means Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Missouri, Indiana, states that are already trending right, they now have the constitutional backing to lock in Republican majorities for years. Now, this is exactly why Democrats are panicking. Their counterattack in California, backfiring. Their Prop 50 power grab, collapsing. Their voter registration advantage, melting away. Their internal memos, leaking fear. President Trump's allies are executing the most aggressive redistricting push in modern American history. And tonight, we're going to break down exactly how this ruling just changed the midterms forever and why Democrats are terrified of what comes next. Now, stay with me because once you hear what's really happening, you're going to understand why 2026 may already be over. Hit the like button and subscribe, folks. It only takes a second. Now, let's go ahead and break down exactly what the Supreme Court ruling did, because this wasn't just some procedural footnote that was buried in some legal jargon. No, this was a constitutional thunderclap, so to speak. So on December 4th, 2025, the court upheld Texas's new congressional map, but the real shock came in the language. The ruling made it very clear that mid-decade districting or redistricting is permissible when population shifts or constitutional concerns justify it. That single clarification effectively rewrote the battlefield for 2026. Now, here's what made Democrats choke on their iced lattes. President Trump's Department of Justice did not oppose the ruling. They didn't challenge it. They didn't slow walk. They didn't even review for 6 months or anything like that like previous administrations. They acknowledged the court's authority and moved out of the way. And so that signaled to every GOP-led state, you are fully within your constitutional rights to redraw. Within minutes, Democrat strategists knew what had happened. The map wasn't blue anymore. It was open territory, and Republicans were already moving. And so here's where the real earthquake begins, because the Supreme Court didn't just approve Texas's map, they effectively invited other states to follow suit. Now, the ruling signaled that if a state can justify mid-cycle adjustments based on legal, demographic, or even representation-based concerns, the court will not interfere. Now, that was the green light that red states have been waiting for. Suddenly, Texas wasn't alone. Florida officials started reviewing their own district population imbalances. North Carolina's legislature, which already leans heavily Republican, immediately accelerated its proposed redraw. Missouri moved its stalled mid-decade plan to the front burner. And in Indiana, lawmakers practically sprinted back into session, knowing the shield of SCOTUS now stood behind them. Let me know where you guys are watching from. What state are you folks watching the show from today? Let me know in the comments. This is why Democrats are panicking, folks. They spent 2 years preparing for one battleground map, and now there's 5 different red-leaning maps forming all at once. The battleground just expanded, and only one side is prepared to fight on it. Now, let's talk about Indiana, because this is the state that Democrats never, ever expected to become ground zero for a redistricting revolution. So a few months ago, Indiana's attempt to redraw the congressional map, it was all but dead. Internal divisions, legal uncertainty, and pressure campaigns from Democratic groups had stalled the entire operation. I mean, this was a political corpse on the table. Then the Supreme Court ruling dropped, and suddenly that dead map sat up like it heard the voice of President Trump himself. Indiana Republicans, who had been hesitant to push forward, now had ironclad constitutional backing. The legal fog evaporated overnight. Now, here's what's at stake, okay? If Indiana finalizes its proposed map, Republicans could secure 8 or even 9 of the state's House seats, locking Indiana into deep red status for a generation. Democrats didn't see this coming. They believed Indiana was safe. They believed hesitation meant victory. They believed that they had already won this thing. But hesitation ended the moment SCOTUS spoke and Indiana answered. Now, before we jump into what's happening next in California, I need to tell you about something that just hit a little bit way too close to home for one of our viewers. Because just like a political map can change without warning, So can your Medicare coverage. Now, a viewer reached out to me and said that his medication, something that he relied on every month, jumped from $14 to $70 overnight. No notice, no warning, nothing. This is because his Medicare plan quietly changed tiers behind the scenes. He told me, Ron, I felt blindsided. And look, guys, this is exactly why I partner with Chapter. They make sure that you're not ambushed by hidden charges in your Medicare coverage. They break it down very clearly, very simply, and they help you protect yourself from surprises like this one. Now, most people, they're already dialing the phone number at the bottom of your screen right there, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. That phone number again is 909-563-8279. And speaking of viewers who took action, Paulette Diener, she wrote this. She said, "Thank you so much, Ron, for sharing this about Chapter. Called them and they were able to communicate about my son's Medicare that has been a nightmare for over a year and gave advice that helped him get a plan that saved money and meet his healthcare needs. What a blessing. Highly recommended for anyone that is struggling with their Medicare." Paulette, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Stories like yours really remind me why we talk about this on this channel. Like when people get clarity, when they finally stop feeling trapped or confused, it changes everything. Now, I'm genuinely just glad that your son found the support that he needed. All right, guys, let's get back to this political earthquake, okay? But if Indiana was the Republican resurrection, California is the Democrat implosion. Look, Gavin Newsom, he pushed Proposition 50 as the left's grand counterattack, a way to grab back control of congressional maps by suspending the state's independent redistricting commission. In theory, Prop 50 would let Democrats redraw California however they pleased and offset GOP gains nationwide. Now, here's the bombshell. The first round of expert analysis shows Prop 50 is backfiring. So instead of creating more competitive districts for Democrats, the new lines appear to pack Democrat voters even tighter into a handful of deep blue districts. Fewer competitive seats, less spread, lower influence. This is the political equivalent of trying to break your opponent's sword and snapping your own sword instead. So while Republicans expand the map, California's attempt to counter them is collapsing under its own weight. And Democrats, they know it because their own strategists, they're sounding the alarm behind closed doors. And so now here's where the math gets absolutely devastating for Democrats. When you combine Texas's new map, Indiana's revival, North Carolina's redraw, Missouri's adjustments, and Florida's upcoming expansion, analysts estimate Republicans are already sitting at 213 to 221 safe seats before a single voter steps into a polling booth. Think about that. The majority threshold is 218. That means Republicans could walk into the 2026 midterms with the House already secured. Democrats call it undemocratic. Republicans call it redistricting reality. And what's driving it? Population shifts, constitutionally sound state authority, and a Supreme Court that just affirmed states' right to adjust representation when voter redistribution changes. Now, Democrats spent 2 years building messaging and fundraising and organizing around a 2026 battleground and battlefield that no longer exists. The ground has shifted under their feet, and they can't even find traction. This is a red wave right here. It's the foundation of a red supermajority built before Election Day. And if the structural map wasn't enough, the polling confirms the momentum. RMG Research, the same pollster that nailed 2024 while others embarrassingly missed, they released its newest generic ballot survey. The result? Republicans +4. And when you include leaners, the margin stays exactly the same, 48 to 44. Now, this is crucial because a map advantage is one thing, but when public opinion independently validates it, that's a sign of political realignment. Voters are not just accepting the new playing field, they're endorsing it. Democrats can't blame this on gerrymandering when national sentiment is moving away from them. They tried to laugh off RMG in early 2024. They're not laughing now. The poll shows Republicans expanding support while Democrats lose it. And when you overlay that trend onto the redraw map, you get one conclusion. Democrats aren't just losing districts, they're losing the country's mood. Now let's talk about the number that has Democrat strategists privately spiraling. 48%. That's President Trump's current approval rating in his latest Harvard-Harris poll. Now, this is 5 points higher than last month, and it's dangerously close to the 50% line that political scientists consider the majority shield. Now, here's why Democrats are terrified. Presidents sitting around 50% in a midterm year historically gain seats, not lose them. Now, Trump is not limping into 2026. In fact, he's accelerating. So you can clearly see that the economy is stabilizing, border policy is flipped, and crime numbers have taken a noticeable drop. voters are rewarding him. Democrat insiders know this. Their internal memos admit that a Trump approval surge is their worst case scenario because a president with strong numbers magnifies every advantage that his party already has, especially a party that's gaining structural map dominance. Now, if Trump hits 50% by spring, the midterms may not be competitive. They may be a coronation. But polling is just the beginning. I mean, the voter registration trends are the knockout punch. And Seth Keshell's county-by-county analysis paints a picture Democrats wish they could burn. Across the 30 states that track party registration, Democrats aren't just losing ground. They're bleeding registrants at an alarming pace. In Pennsylvania alone, Democrats have lost over 40% of their registration advantage ever since Kamala Harris lost the state in 2024. And remember, Pennsylvania typically votes 3 to 5 points right of registration. That means the state isn't purple anymore. It's red with a fading blue tint. North Carolina is only 2,000 registrations away from flipping Republican for the first time in state history. Florida continues stacking GOP registrants while Democrats disappear from the rolls. Even Arizona and Colorado, Democrat hopes are trending red as inactive Democrats are purged at much higher rates. The map isn't shifting, the electorate is. And so now while Republicans surge forward with new maps, Democrats are scrambling to mount a counteroffensive. But here's the problem. Every one of their efforts is collapsing under time, law, or logistics. Look, just take Virginia, for example. Democrats tried to push an aggressive redraw that would have created 4 brand new Democrat-leaning districts, but their plan hit a wall twice. Virginia law requires any new map to pass the legislature 2 separate times across sessions and then survive a statewide referendum. And guess what, guys? The 2026 midterm clock, it's already ticking. Campaigns have to launch. Fundraising calendars are set. Filing deadlines are coming. If the maps aren't locked by early 2026, it's over. Even Democrat strategists admitted privately, they simply ran out of runway. Their legal maneuvering just couldn't keep pace with the Supreme Court's green light of GOP-led states. Republicans are playing chess. Democrats are playing catch-up with broken pieces. And here's a twist that no one on the left saw coming. In an attempt to clean up voter rolls and prepare for 2026, blue states like Arizona, Colorado, and even Florida, under previous management, they began purging these inactive registrations. They believed that this would tighten their margins and eliminate Republican deadweight. But the numbers coming out of these purges, a political horror show for Democrats. Democrats are losing significantly more voters than Republicans, often by double-digit percentage gaps. In Arizona, Democrat losses during purges are outpacing GOP losses by the thousands. Colorado shows a very similar trend, with Republicans quietly gaining net new registrants while Democrats disappear from the rolls. Even Florida demonstrates the same pattern. Plus 5,000 new GOP registrations and minus 5,000 Democrat registrations in the same period. Every fix the Democrats attempt is turning into another wound. They're trying to plug holes in the ship, but every patch creates 2 new leaks. So when you step back and you look at everything together, the Supreme Court ruling, the flood of redistricting momentum, the failing Democrat countermoves, the voter registration collapse, and the national polling shift, you start to see something we have never witnessed in modern American politics. The 2026 House majority might be mathematically decided months before Election Day. Now, think about that. Before campaign ads run, before debates, before yard signs pop up. If the final maps in Texas, Indiana, Florida, Missouri, and North Carolina are locked in as expected, Republicans could hold 218 to 221 safe seats with 0 toss-ups. Democrats would enter the midterms already outnumbered, even in the rosiest of scenarios. Now, this isn't just an advantage. This is a structural transformation, a generational recalibration of political power, and Democrats know it. This is why their messaging has shifted from blue wave to damage control. They're not trying to win the House anymore. They're just trying to survive it. And so now we reach the final piece of this political earthquake, the panic happening behind closed doors. I mean, look, leaks from Democrat strategists reveal pure chaos, fractured teams, dueling factions, and emergency strategy sessions that always seem to end in the same grim conclusion. They have no path to stop the map. Emails show operatives furious over the Prop 50 backfire. Others are blaming national leadership for ignoring voter registration decline. Younger progressives are demanding aggressive legal battles. Meanwhile, other older operatives are quietly admitting the same Supreme Court ruling removed last month was the last tool that they had left. Their once united messaging machine now sounds like a dozen competing alarms. Some want to focus on abortion, others want to focus on climate, others want to focus on Trump, but none of it really matters if the districts themselves are unwinnable. This is what a party looks like when the battlefield shifts faster than its strategy. This is what a political collapse looks like in real time.